Thank you very much. So, Social Farms and Gardens is a UK-wide membership organisation providing organisational support and networking opportunities to community gardens and green spaces, ranging from rural care farms to urban community gardens. Our work is primarily based on the principles of asset-based community development, treating community members as knowledge holders and skills holders who should be invested in and treated as assets rather than as passive beneficiaries. Just a bit about me. I've been in the horticultural industry for 10 years and I currently manage a market gardening project alongside my work with Social Farms and Gardens in London. That work is primarily based around peer-to-peer training and networking, and some of the projects, some of the topics we've covered in the last 12 months have included organisational and administrative things, but also talking about emotional resilience and preventing burnout in spaces where we're creating inclusive spaces. So all of those various facets of the trainings we've done have been collected into this one crash course that we're calling the Gardeniser course. So what that refers to is the role of the garden organizer, which isn't simply just gardening, it's everything around and about the direct delivery. And what this course seeks to do is elaborate on all of those different things and advocate for this as a role and develop capacity in that direction. So previous graduates of the Gardeniser course have obviously been community gardening practitioners, but also local council and local authority officers who found it interesting to learn more about the role requirements that are involved in creating community-led green spaces. So what are those role requirements? So one of the crucial things is inclusive design. If a community gardening space is going to be representative and appealing to the local community, it's got to be reflective of them. And so part of the Gardeniser role is to ensure that processes are in place to include communities in the design process to make it relevant for them, as well as considering the various accessibility needs that go into making an inclusive space. Gardenisers also have to be proficient in project management, so creating action plans to implement short and long-term projects, but they will also have to deal with fundraising and grant applications alongside that. But then beyond all this, there's all the tiny little logistical challenges that build up. For instance, fixing a tap. So the Gardeniser needs to understand how to recruit sufficient diverse skills in the organisation to make it sustainable. Legal structures and governance is another crucial part of the Gardeniser role. The Gardeniser has to have an understanding of various legal formats and which is most appropriate for their setup, as well as an understanding of lease negotiation and what the difference between a license and a lease is. There also will be some interaction with the governing body, and it's important to have some proper lines of communication and decision making there. And then finally, the Gardeniser needs to be really proficient in interpersonal skills, making sure that a space is sufficiently inclusive and welcoming, but also that the staff and volunteers are supported as they go through stressful situations, or if conflict arises, the Gardeniser is the intermediary between all of those things. And then it's really important for them to look after themselves. So yeah, emotional resilience in that work is really key to be intentional about. So our Gardeniser course is 80 hours long. We split that between 40 hours of supported study and 40 hours of internship, where Gardenisers put the lessons they've learned to practice. We operate on the basis of participatory learning. So the magic happens when all the different people who are kind of involved in this work get together and share their experiences and create networks among them and create an ongoing legacy for the Gardeniser course. Our network is international. We've got a European-wide network, and it's growing every day. And what I think that's growing in response to is an increasing recognition that plants have enormous power to address some of the key problems facing us as a society and indeed as a species. So climate change, biodiversity loss, alienation from each other and interpersonal conflict, all of these things can be addressed through community managed green space. So I'd really encourage you to join the Gardenisers. Have a look at our website, farmgarden.org.uk. Our next online Gardeniser course will be on the 23rd of November, going through till the 8th of February. So have a look, and I hope to see some of you there.